I just want to take a quick poll from those who are here present in the audience to ask you guys a question. Who is Isaiah 53 talking about? Is it talking about Israel suffering as a servant, or is it talking about the Messiah as a suffering servant? Can I take that poll real quick, guys, in the chat room? Who is Isaiah 53 talking about? You guys tell me. We'll start there. You guys tell me. By the way, I'm always open for open dialogues and discussions. So if there's anybody that's watching the live stream that would like to join on, all you got to do is go in the comment section and ask, how do you join on? And I'm going to put the password right in the comment section so you could join on. The only thing that I ask is if anyone joins on, we got to see your face. Because if I can go on record and show you who I am, it means I'm able to stand on what I believe. If I'm not showing my face, maybe I'm afraid to stand on what I believe. I don't do that, right? So if you come on the platform, if you want to come on the platform, we're going to need to see your face. But anybody's invited to share their views, right? Respectfully, respectfully. I see Messiah, right? All right. Messiah's winning. Messiah's winning. So wait, I come from the Old Testament only community. At least at one time, I certainly defined myself as such, although I no longer hold to that definition. I no longer hold to that definition. But being that a lot of people who followed me were primarily from that community, I just got to ask in the comment section, there's nobody here that believes that Isaiah 53 is talking about Israel? Nobody? None of y'all? Everybody believes it's a reference to the Messiah? There's got to be one person in here that believes it's Israel. Come on. Where's my Old Testament Israelites? Where are the Israelites that say they are Torah only? Where are those Israelites that are starting to hate me for the things that I'm saying in the books that I'm publishing? Where art thou?
I feel compelled to clarify this. I don't belong to any of the communities mentioned. In fact, I remain indifferent to whether the suffering servant is Moses, Isaiah, Jesus, or Israel. Really doesn't bother me. Why, you may ask? Well, my tribe identifies with the northern kingdom of Israel. And the concept of a Messiah only emerged after the fall of the northern kingdom, when the name Israel transformed from a geographical term representing the northern kingdom of Israel into an ideological belief representing the southern kingdom of Judah. This is why it doesn't bother me who the Messiah is, because the Northerners are not looking for a Messiah. It's a southern kingdom of Judah's invention and their theology. Why was it invented? That is for another day. So, I am here. My current endeavor involves critically examining and reviewing the work of my fellow scholar, Lexx. So, before we delve into the specifics of Isaiah 53, it is essential to first comprehend the broader context of the book of Isaiah. We're going to explore the book itself, its origins, its authorship, and the historical backdrop in which it was written, because it is important to know this to decipher Isaiah 53, the suffering servant. In his book, The Messiah Codex, a textual analysis of the messianic prophecies, my brother Lexx posits that the book of Isaiah prophesied the birth of Cyrus 3 centuries or 300 years prior to its occurrence. Where does he state that? Let's bring it up. Don't forget to go to Amazon and grab a copy of his book. I know what it takes to write books, to publish books. So go to Amazon and get copies of Zion Lexx's books. He's got quite a few of them. Let's support him. So the Messiah Codex, where does he state about Cyrus? Let me bring it up so that we can read. It states it here. Therefore, the prophets of the Bible focused more on revealing the role of the Messiah and virtually concealing his identity. I say this because even the heathen king Cyrus, who issued the decree for the children of Israel to return to Jerusalem to build the temple, Ezra 1 verses 1, Isaiah 44 verses 28, Isaiah 45 verses 1, had his very name revealed almost 3 centuries before his birth. And he cites Isaiah 45 verses 1. Surely the naming of King Cyrus almost 300 years before his birth was because ascertaining his identity was relevant to those chain of events the Messiah promised to come. So this is where my brother Zion Lexx posits that Cyrus the Great was prophesied 300 years. I wonder where he's getting the 300 years from before his birth. How accurate is this statement? What do we know about the book of Isaiah? Like I said, before we delve into the specifics of Isaiah 53, it is essential to first comprehend the broader context of the book of Isaiah. We have to explore the book itself. We have to explore its origins. We have to explore its authorship and then explore the historical background in which it was written. We need to do that so that we can situate Isaiah 53 in its context, historical context, to make sense out of what it's got to tell us. So let's do that in this session. In most biblical manuscripts, it is the book of Isaiah that opens the collection of prophetic books proper. Why is that? Because the book bearing the name Isaiah has been placed in most manuscripts as the introduction since its 66 chapters covers more than 5 centuries. So the book of Isaiah has 66 chapters and it covers over 5 centuries. What are these centuries? We have the era of monarchy and the Assyrian crisis. It covers that in its first part. That is Isaiah chapters 1 to chapters 39. And then it covers the era of the Babylonian exile and the advent of the Persians. We have that in Isaiah 40 to 55. And then finally, it covers the Persian era and the beginnings of the Hellenistic era. You're looking at Isaiah chapters 55 to chapters 66. This makes the book of Isaiah a complex piece of biblical literature, often divided into three sections. You have the Proto Isaiah, or what some will call First Isaiah. You have the Deutero Isaiah, or Isaiah, however you want to pronounce it. People call this Second Isaiah. And then you have the Trito Isaiah, or Trito Isaiah, which is the third Isaiah, as some choose to call it. Scholars assign these three divisions due to the noticeable shifts in style, tone, and historical context. So you have first Isaiah, second Isaiah, and then third Isaiah, or Proto Isaiah, Deutero Isaiah, Trito or Trito Isaiah. Let's take them one after the other. When we take first Isaiah or Proto Isaiah, it encompasses chapters 1 to 39, and it contains oracles and prophecies that are traditionally ascribed to the prophet Isaiah himself, who lived and prophesied in Jerusalem during the 8th century BC. This period was marked by significant geopolitical tension. That is, the king of Israel and his Aramean allies attempted to coerce King Ahaz of Judah to join their anti-Assyrian coalition. And you're looking at the dates around 735 to 734 BC, what we call the Syro-Ephraimite War. So this was what the king of Israel and then his Aramean allies were attempting to do. However, Isaiah, with his influential position at the royal court, steadfastly opposed this move. He warned King Ahaz against seeking assistance from Assyria, cautioning that such an alliance would lead to disastrous consequences. Later on, he also advised against forming an alliance with Egypt. So this is the context of First Isaiah, Proto Isaiah. Now, one of the most notable passages in Proto Isaiah is the account of Isaiah's divine calling, which we see in chapter 6. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh sitting upon the throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Most of us know this. Look at verses 8. And I heard the voice of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, here I am, send me. And he said, go and say to this people, keep on hearing, but do not understand. Keep on seeing, but do not perceive. Make the heart of this people dull, and their ears heavy, and blind their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn and be healed. So, in describing a vision in which Isaiah is elevated to the heavenly court, Yahweh reveals a sobering message. What was the message? He will harden the hearts of the people, making them deaf to the prophetic warnings. Why is this important? Well, this divine hardening of the heart serves as a way to explain why Isaiah's prophecies often fell on unresponsive ears. contributing to the perceived failure of his mission. This is why it's here. Okay, moving on. Good things you should know. The prophet Isaiah, son of Amos, who lived in the 8th century BCE, is directly credited with only 3 oracles, namely Isaiah chapters 2 verses 1, Isaiah chapters 13 verses 1, and Isaiah chapters 20 verses 2. Good to know. Another good to know. His name, Isaiah, is mentioned only in the first half of his book. Proto-Isaiah, first Isaiah. You have the name Isaiah only mentioned in the first half of his book, specifically within chapters 1 of Isaiah through chapters 39 of Isaiah, which is first Isaiah, that is Proto-Isaiah. When we come to Deutero-Isaiah, we're looking at Isaiah chapters 40 to chapters 55. This Deutero part of Isaiah was added to the scroll of Isaiah at the beginning of the Persian era. This is very important because this is where it focuses on Cyrus. We are looking at the historical background, critical to interpreting Isaiah 53. We are not on a theological tangent here. We want data. Okay. Now, again, the second part of the book, Deutero-Isaiah, was added to the scroll of Isaiah at the beginning of the Persian era. What are the dates for the Persian era? You're looking at 550 BC to 330 BC, run about there. Some people would have add or subtract, doesn't matter, but you're looking at this ballpark. 550 BC to 330 BC. What are the dates for Cyrus's reign? You have 559 BC to 530 BC. You see where it is going. But let's move on. Let's gather some more data. In short, the person writing is aware of Cyrus. Whoever is penning Deutero-Isaiah, second Isaiah, is aware of Cyrus, is familiar with Cyrus. Let's move on. Deutero-Isaiah is our focus. This part of Isaiah, the second part, is a compilation of anonymous oracles that depict Cyrus, the Persian king, as Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh's servant, appointed to bring an end to the Babylonian exile. Also, this portion of the book is greatly monotheistic, standing out as one of the most decisively monotheistic document in the biblical text. It contains sharp and, must I say, mocking criticism of the idols or so-called idols worshipped by other nations, underscoring their inability to help those who pray to them. Isaiah 44 actually focuses on that. The second part of Isaiah, Deutero-Isaiah, also introduces the concept of a suffering servant, the topic of our next video, who, despite being rejected and killed by his own people, is ultimately vindicated by the deity, by God. or by Yud He Vav He. These passages reflect the context and sentiments of the community responsible for producing this section of Isaiah. I'll repeat that again because it's important. These passages reflect the context and sentiments of the community responsible for producing this section of Isaiah. Let's move on to the third Isaiah, that is Trido Isaiah. You're looking at Isaiah 56 to Isaiah 66. The third and final part of the book of Isaiah concentrates on the rebuilt temple and its role as a house of prayer for all nations. The book concludes with a proclamation of a new creation and a divine judgment against Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh's adversaries, who are doomed to eternal fire. You see that in Isaiah 66. So, three parts to the book of Isaiah. You're not looking at one author, you're looking at multiple authors. This is what the scholars tell us. What does the oral tradition that my brother Zion Lexx subscribes to, what does the oral tradition have to say about the authorship of the book of Isaiah? What do the sages say about it? Well, the sages of the oral tradition suggest that the book of Isaiah was not penned by Isaiah himself. I'll repeat that. The sages of the oral tradition suggest that the book of Isaiah was not penned by Isaiah himself. What do they say? They say that Hezekiah and his colleagues wrote Isaiah, Proverbs, the Songs of Songs, and Ecclesiastes. If you want a source, Bava Batra 15a. Jeremiah wrote his own book, and the book of Kings and Lamentations. Hezekiah and his colleagues wrote Isaiah, Proverbs, Songs of Songs, Ecclesiastes. Yeshaya, Mishle, Shir Hashirim, Kohelet. Okay, so this is what the sages of the oral tradition are telling us. They agree that the prophet did not pen his own book or his own prophecies. Moving on to the multiple authors. Rashi, who is a renowned medieval commentator, posits that Isaiah met his demise at the hand of King Manasseh before he had the opportunity to transcribe his prophetic revelations. So it means that Manasseh killed Isaiah, which the Talmud agrees. Your source is on the screen. So Rashi explains that prophets typically documented their prophecies towards the end of their lives. However, in the case of Isaiah, as reflected in the Talmud, he met an untimely death at the hands of King Manasseh, thus depriving him of the opportunity to record his own prophetic visions. So another source talking about the authorship. Now, let's look at a source for multiple authorship. We go to Ibn Ezra, Abraham ibn Ezra. He sadly suggests in his commentary that chapters 40 and onwards in the book of Isaiah may have been authored at a later date. His hints to this effect can be located in his notes on Isaiah 40 verses 1, Isaiah 49 verses 7, and Isaiah 53:12. So get a copy of Ibn Ezra's commentary on the book of Isaiah and look for these hints. So clearly, the sages of the oral tradition suggest that the book of Isaiah was not penned by Isaiah himself. And then Avram Ibn Ezra tells us that there are multiple authors. So the book of Isaiah can be viewed as a collection with multiple authors contributing to the text over time. I'll repeat that again. The book of Isaiah can be viewed as a collection with multiple authors contributing to the text over time. Handel and Huster write this on the linguistic dating of the Bible, their book. This is what they write on page 79. After first Isaiah brought to closure with the historical chapters paralleling Kings, comes a collection of prophetic texts reflected a much later age. The linguistic differences between the two parts of the book leap to the eye. A famous example occurs in the two passages announcing how, in the idyllic future, peace will reign among the animals. You see that in Isaiah 11, verses 6, which uses the adverb together, yachdav. But Isaiah 65, verses 25, substitutes the adverbial phrase ke'echad, that is, together. The former is typical of classical biblical Hebrew, but the latter is a calque from Aramaic never found in classical biblical Hebrew, but well attested in late biblical Hebrew. There are many more instances. Isaiah 40 to 66 has around 30 elements characteristic of late biblical Hebrew. This is from How Old is the Hebrew Bible? A linguistic, textual, and historical study. What can we conclude here? Various methods and pieces of evidence can be and have been employed to comprehensively substantiate the claim that the content in Isaiah originates from the period post 540 BCE. We're dealing with Cyrus the Great. Was he predicted before his birth? This paints the picture of the text of Cyrus coming after the fact, written after the event had already transpired, not 150 or 200 years earlier before his birth. Again, I don't know where my brother Zion Lexx got the 300 years from. So the author demonstrates a clear knowledge of Cyrus in Deutero-Isaiah, 2nd Isaiah. The timeline of the writing suggests it was crafted at the onset of the Persian era, coinciding with the reign of Cyrus the Great. The assertion made by my brother Lexx that Cyrus was predicted 300 years prior to his birth seems to be inaccurate. Correctly dating the text is crucial because now that we are aware of the timing of the second part of the book, which includes Isaiah 53, the suffering servant, we are in a better position to analyze it in its proper historical context. So we are not looking at a prophecy from the 8th century. No, we are looking at a prophecy contemporary to Cyrus. Now, knowing this about 2nd Isaiah, where we find the suffering servant, we are in a better position to analyze it in its proper historical context. Who is the suffering servant? Again, I don't have any bias here. I don't have any hand in the game. Like I said in the beginning, whoever the suffering servant is really does not concern me. Why? I'll repeat it again. My tribe identifies with the northern kingdom of Israel. And the concept of a Messiah only emerged after the fall of the northern kingdom, when the name Israel transformed from a geographical term representing the northern kingdom of Israel into an ideological belief representing the southern kingdom of Judah. This is why it doesn't bother me who the Messiah is, because the Northerners are not looking for a Messiah. It's a southern kingdom of Judah's invention and their theology. Why was it invented? That is for another day.